This is video 5 for today. So we have seen the nursing management. So under second point, we have seen that we have to do the assessment of bulbo-calcaneus reflex. So what is this reflex? Usually it is done, okay, it is a polysynaptic reflex that is useful for testing. So what they will do is they will try to assess, okay, from the the urinary tract or from the pelvic region, they will be able to assess and they will see if there is any shock or pain that is produced in the patient. So this helps in finding out spinal, it will give, when they assess, I will post the picture, so you will be able to see that. So when they are able to elicit this reflex, then the patient, if the patient is having spinal shock, it gives information about any state of spinal cord injuries. So when there is spinal cord injuries, automatically what happens, the patient will be losing the sensation of voiding. So that's why this bulbo-calcaneus reflex has to be elicited. And then you also have vaginal vault examination. So this is an pelvic examination where it is done for the external and internal female pelvic organs. So they will see. So it is actually done by the gynecologist for checking the level of the uterus that is working, but it is also done to see if there is any problems that is associated with urinary tract problem also, like patient will exhibit pain. Okay, so that is vaginal vault examination. So first we have seen, so we have done with the nursing management. So first we have seen that we have to check out the symptoms, then second we have to perform these two examinations, then we have to determine the residual volume that is found after voiding, and then we have seen how much they actually drink water and how much of the urine that they have passed. Next they have to consult the physician in case of any kind of medications that is leading to urinary retention that is happening, and then they have to check the quality of symptom score. So this AUA prostrate, it is actually done to check if there is any abnormality that is there in the prostate. So that score has to be done to see, and then we have to ask them to double urinate. If they are having problem in urination, then we have symptoms. The patient will feel like voiding, but the patient will not be able to void. So that has to be checked, and then treat the patient with mild to moderate symptoms of double voiding. So if they are not able to void fully, ask them to void after 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, and then we have to teach them about urinary retention, and infrequent voiding should be avoided. They have to take turns to do it. So BPH patient, they should be very careful that they don't take any over-the-counter medication for cold, because it can have alpha-adrenergic agonist. Any dietary medication again which can have alpha-adrenergic agonist. So this will worsen the condition, and then proper voiding problems should be informed, and new prescription should be obtained from the doctor. If they are exposed to cold for a longer period, they have to warm and then void. And then we have seen in case of elderly patient how we should teach them about the medication use. They should not stop it abruptly. And then we have seen various measures how we can tell the patient to do in order to rectify this urinary retention. If they are not able to do above 6 hours, they have to come to the hospital, or if they are taught to introduce intermittent catheter, they can do it, but it can lead to colonization or it can lead to infection. So if there are chances for infection, then the patient should, what they should do, they have to make sure that they go into indwelling catheter. Okay, so that they have to follow. And then again, indwelling catheter care should be given properly, so that the patient does not develop any kind of urinary tract infection. Okay, so these are all the various nursing management that we have to do. Next, coming on to client family teaching. Okay, so today we will end only with urinary retention. Tomorrow, the next class, we will continue with another cases. We will see that. Okay, so we will finish off with client or family teaching. So when it comes to client or family teaching, we have to teach the technique for intermittent catheterization. So every now and then, if the patient is staying too far, he cannot come to the hospital, and if they are able to manage with it, they can always take the help of the family member who can help them in assisting the intermittent urinary catheter. So remember, what is this intermittent urinary catheter? Whenever the patient feels for 6 hours he has tried everything, but still the patient is not able to urinate, then he can take this catheter and pass it into the urethra, and then drain the urine in the bag or in a kidney tray. So once it is drained, then you remove off immediately the urinary catheter. So that tubing will be very small. Usually it is red in color with the opening in the tip. Okay, there is a round, it will close, and then in between you will see a opening. Okay, sorry, there is no opening at the top. Okay, so it is a round tube which enters, and at the end only there is an opening, so the urine will drain automatically into the urinary kidney tray or a bag, whatever you have kept. Okay, so we have to teach them, including the use clean rather than sterile technique. They have to use washing soap with soap and water, or a microwave technique. So the catheter also should be autoclaved. It can be put into a sterilizer. Then sterile gloves have to be used. Cheetal forceps, transfer forceps should be sterile. Everything they have to make sure that they are using are sterile, boiled well, and then it should be used. And the catheter, after using, again you can wash it with soap and water, and again you can put it into the sterilizer. Make sure that it is boiled water, and then after sterilizing it, again you can remove it, dry it, and keep it in a sterilized cover. Okay, then teach the person with the indwelling catheter to assess the tube for patency. So if the patient is on indwelling catheter, the relatives, or whoever is staying with the patient, also they should make sure that there is no block, there is a patency. Then the hourly basis they should be able to check. Maintain the draining system below the level of symphysis pubis. So usually in the patient, right, when they are lying in the cot, the bag is put at the side, so it should be below the symphysis pubis, so there is a drainage of the urine, and to routinely cleanse the bedside bag. So that bag also should be removed and it should be cleansed. Then teach the person managed by an indwelling catheter or intermittent catheterization the symptoms of a significant urinary infection, including hematuria, acute onset continence, dysuria, flank pain or fever. So we should also teach them. So sometimes coma patients also will be there, where the patient cannot be at the hospital, so they will be receiving home care. So we should also make sure, or if the patient is debilitated, okay, semi-conscious, or if the patient is on treatment for a longer time. Okay, so in all these debilitated, very sick patients, it is important that we teach the people also about the complication like flank pain, or pus, or blood in the urine. All these they have to report immediately. Hematuria, blood in the urine. Then the patient suddenly has onset of incontinence, and then dysuria, pain during the maturation, flank pain or fever. So all this has to be taught to the family members, so that they will be able to take care. Okay, if in case of any of this complication, we have to inform to them to come and report immediately. Okay, so these are all about the urinary retention that we have done. So BSc students, for you, actually I have given clinical presentation, right? But I have taken the classes because I am handling it for GNM. I am also sending to you. So when you are writing your clinical presentation, you should refer more, and you have to add the pathophysiology. Okay, so that is what. So you can also go through. I am also going to post the same videos to you. So I think it will be helpful, and notes is almost there except of pathophysiology. So make sure that you go through, you study this, plus pathophysiology you will have to get ready when you are going to come and present. And second GNM students, any doubt pertaining to the class, please post it. Okay, and then your madam will forward to me, and even second BSc, if you have any doubts, you can post it and I will explain it to you. Patho, you have to refer. Actually, because I am taking for them, I thought I will also post to you. So all these are more than enough except of pathophysiology. Okay, and other conditions like dialysis, everything, I will be taking, as we are dealing here already for second GNM, we have dealt it in the pediatrics. Okay, but then again we will see here, anything extra adding, I will be taking again. Okay, so I hope you are taking care of yourself. Okay, and write all the assignments, keep it ready, and BSc's clinical presentations, keep it ready, and then make sure that when you come, immediately we will start with the test. You will be given a session test, you will be having immediately, because the time I think before you come, all the portions will be over. So we will plan for session test, and then clinical presentations will be given to you. So whichever has been allotted according to your requirement, of the university, already we have given you topics. all those things, and after that we will be going for clinical postings also. So don't delay anything. So make sure that you keep everything ready. Understand? So any doubts also you can post. So urinary retention, we have seen definition, what are the causes, clinical manifestation, complication, diagnostic test, management. Then nursing management, detailedly we have dealt with 18 points, and client and family teaching that we have to do for the family. Okay, so we are ending today's class. Take care.